What's up, guys? So for today's tutorial, I'm just gonna be doing a full voiceover on everything just because I just don't have the chance to put everything in. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get started. First thing that I'm gonna do is gonna take this full face prosthetic from mostlydead.com. This was actually sent to me by them, so I am very thankful for them because these pieces can get a little bit pricey. This is a foam prosthetic. So pretty much what I'm gonna do, as you already saw, I went ahead and I laid it on top of my head and I'm just cutting it out to the shape of my face. These prosthetics are made like using their own sculptures that they already have in like their molds, so they fit everybody's face a little bit differently. The best thing to do is just go ahead, take your time shaping it. I outlined it with a brown pencil just because my full look is gonna be brown, so it wasn't gonna really show in case I did miss anything. So if you're gonna do like a white wolf, I would suggest doing it with a white pencil. The next step that I'm going to be doing is just to add some teeth and more dimension. I'm going to be taking some clear nails and I'm just using a hot glue gun and I'm going to be putting them right on. Now you can actually use different types of things to do the teeth, but honestly the stiletto nails already have the shape and it's so easy. Right after that, I went ahead and I sprayed it with some sealing, like a sealant. You can literally buy anything. I believe the one that I bought was just your typical sealant from Walmart. Now I want this look to be very realistic. So as you mostly all know, I do a lot of sewing and costume creating. So I just had some fur laying around. I went ahead and I did kind of like a head wrap, if you want to say. And I went ahead and I did it with that fur. And I'm just going to add some clips right on the bottom to make sure that it locks around the neck. Obviously the whole time I was measuring and making sure that it fit me. So this is just kind of like the fast forward version. If I was making this for a client, I would have, lined it in with like some type of silk or like some other material on the inside. But since it's just for me, and honestly, I don't think I'm gonna wear this look out, I'm just gonna be doing it for this video and the photos. I just left it like how it is. Now I'm gonna take some stabilizer. The stabilizer, you can get it at any fabric store. It's literally called fabric stabilizer. Pretty much you use this just to make the fabric a little bit stiffer on the inside. And then I labeled it B1 and B2. And then that is the reference photo. So I'm actually looking at a reference photo. It just makes it a lot easier just to see where something's gonna be dark and light. And then obviously a wolf isn't just gonna be fully brown all the way around. So I used some white fur that I also had laying around, and I'm gonna be using that for the ears. But that's just gonna be for the inside. And then I'm cutting it a little bit smaller than the actual shape. Reason is that I want to add some brown border hair to the outside so that it looks like it's an actual ear. Like I said, best thing to do is just look at a reference photo. And I'm just gluing all of this on with the hot glue. I noticed that if you use hot glue or like E6000, some type of adhesive, you don't necessarily have to sew everything, but if you add the glue to the stabilizer, it makes it a lot stronger than if you were to just sew it normally. Be very careful when you do all of this. I kind of know how to gauge the heat level of the hot glue just because I always use it. Regardless, I still get burnt from time to time, but obviously like you want to be able to get accustomed to your stuff, because if not, you'll get burnt. Oh my goodness, and be aware, this whole process is gonna make everywhere around your, whether you're gonna do it like in your room, your drag room, whatever. Like I have my own drag studio pretty much, but it literally had it full of hair for days, so just heads up. And then you're gonna take that ear that you did and you're gonna fold it like so, and then once again just glue and use like sewing pins to hold it in place while the glue dries. And then this is just a head block, and then that is pretty much how it's gonna look. And the ears, the really good effect was to make them pointy, so make sure you do them pointy. Now this right here, this is gonna be what I'm gonna be using for the actual prosthetic. This is a Mayron Paradise water activated palette. I'm taking all of the red color first and just gonna be doing that on the mouth. I'm gonna be taking some brushes. The trick to the Mayron is the less water that you use, the more like thick and the more pigmented the paint is. Now obviously the paint is not going to be super bright because you already have hot glue. So if you wanted like a really bright color payoff, you can use acrylic. Plus, this isn't going directly on your face, so the acrylic paint will be good. And then this is just an extra step that I personally did. I went ahead and I painted the whole base white. You don't really have to, but I just did that as a way to base the whole color for it. And then just playing around with shadows, I used the yellow to mark where I would do a little bit of black and darker coloring on it. And this is just to map the whole prosthetic. And then I'm using the same Paradise paint sticks, and I'm going in with the color brown. And at first I'm going to do a couple layers of it very thin, and then I'm going to go ahead and go back and really make it more brown, pop in the blacks and everything. But for this part, it looks a little bit pastel and the colors seem dull just because of the white base. But like I said, it's easier to actually do dull colors and work your way darker than going from darker to light. And that's just the same thing for any type of color application. And then just make sure you take your time with this and keep using that reference pictures. Pretty much the two main reference pictures that I used was a real wolf one, and then just I went on Pinterest and I looked up a wolf prosthetic. Now, for some reason I lost a lot of footage, so just bear with me, but pretty much I just went ahead and I used more red and black and white just to go ahead and add more details. But this is how it looks. I also went ahead and, like I said, I lost some footage, but after it was all done and painted with the same sealant spray that I bought, I went ahead and I sprayed it 3 times. And that's why it looks more glossier and more realistic once the whole thing is finished. And this is the final product for the prosthetic and the headpiece. Now the next step is going to be the makeup application, which is not going to take too long. I went ahead and I just did an outline of where the prosthetic is going to actually cover my face. And then I went ahead and I put my head wrap, and it looks super cute. This is like something that I'm gonna use it on different looks too. But yeah, I just marked where it would go. And I'm going to take a brown cream stick and I'm going to go ahead and start laying the foundation colors for it. And since I'm going to be putting liquid latex on the other areas, I don't necessarily have to do it. I am going to cover my brows because since I'm going to be using liquid latex for it, if that gets in the hair, you're going to go ahead and have to rip that off. So either use Vaseline or just cover your brows. And then I popped in some contacts. I wish I had yellow ones. I didn't have them at that time, but now I do. So I might redo this look in the future. I'm going to go in with my Nomad Cosmetics Berlin palette. This is the only palette that I use for the look, and honestly, this is one of my staple palettes at this point. The colors are just so pigmented and so pretty. I'm using the brown shade for my whole eye pretty much, and I'm going to be doing underneath and on the top. And then back underneath, I'm going to go in with the black. Now, I'm going to actually go lightly with the black because the black is very pigmented, but I want to build up so that it doesn't look like just a black streak. And I'm going to go in with the metallic yellow, and I'm just going to be using my finger. I usually like to use metallic fingers with just my finger. I feel like they apply a lot easier and have a more payout for the shine. And I'm just going to deepen the crease as well. And I'm going to go in with the white, and this is how that looks. Like I said, an amazing colors. The colors are so blendable, and everything about this palette is super rich. I love it. These are some custom lashes that I did. If you are interested and want to purchase them, just send me a message. Now I'm going to be going in with the Mayron liquid latex. Sorry about that. But I'm just going to apply it where the prosthetic is going to lay. And the easiest way to lay a prosthetic is covering the areas on your face with the latex and then covering the prosthetic. Wait for it to dry a little bit, and then it'll stick right on. If you wait for it, if you try to stick on it when it's wet, it's not going to apply as smooth. So just wait a little bit. And then just go back to the edges and finish it off. And again, back with the same palette, and I'm using the brown and the black just to match the prosthetic to my skin more. And take your time doing this so you can really blend out the prosthetic. And this is pretty much the finished look. I'm going to add some details, and here we go. Alright guys, so that was it for today's tutorial. I hope you liked it. Make sure to like and subscribe, and see you on the next one.